What is something your partner has done during sex that completely ruined it for you? She sounded like a rubber chicken. I don't think you're in. I was a few months into a relationship with my now husband. And while I was blowing him, he let out a very tiny fart. I was going to be mature and ignore it. Farts happen. But it began to smell so bad. Neither one of us could ignore it. I started laughing and couldn't stop for the next 10-15 minutes. Killed the mood. But at least we laughed about it. Edit. I'm glad so many of you enjoyed this horrific moment in my Azul history. And also glad so many of you had similar gassy mishaps that you were inclined to share. My husband doesn't read it and I told him how this comment has blown up. And he just shook his head. You'll probably Dutch oven me later. Thanks for all the love. Edit 2. Gold. That's amazing. Thank you. Kind stranger who thinks farts are funny. Remind me to swing by Target. The sack of potatoes ex-partner. Please show signs of life. You're ducking groceries. And expecting too much from them. She accidentally pooped on me during doggy style and then broke up with me the next day saying she couldn't look me in the eye anymore. TTY situation all round. When I was 18 my 22-year-old girlfriend started shaking during sex this one time. At first I thought to myself damn I'm good. But then I realized she was having a seizure. Her vaginal muscles were convulsing and I ended up coming as I tried to pull out. So there I was. Cradling the head of my girlfriend who I just found out was epileptic. While she was covered in my cum and I was trying to make sure she didn't swallow her tongue. Edit. Holy shit, this is unexpected. Thanks for the silver and gold. First time ever. Couple things. 1. Trying to go through the comments and upvote everyone sorry if I miss you too. At the time I thought that the tongue swallowing was a thing. She told me afterwards that the real risk for her tongue is biting it. 3. We were laying down in bed at the time so there was minimal full risk. 4. We are not still together. However we are very great friends still. Edit 2. Plat. Wow what an adventure. Ask my GF to talk dirty to me as she started giving me a handy. With a serious face she says. I'm going to shitty on your chest. We had tears in our eyes from laughing so hard. Bit the tip like it was some sort of corn dog. Had an asthma attack. Edit. Thanks for the silver stranger. Keep breathing in the bedroom. My ex had random music playing. It changed to "O Come All Ye Faithful." The irony is not lost on me, and he said "Oh God I just thought about my mom." Needless to say things ended at that moment. Edit. Holy shitty, puns. Comma this blew up. A few answers. SX ended. Not the relationship. It was oh God as in not a oh God yes. He was instantly turned off as well. Wasn't my music but agreed. A playlist is important. Had a guy freak out on where to put his stuff. I told him it didn't matter. I'm on BC. He starts to panic. DCK in hand. Squats down and comes on the floor. That was the last time I spoke to him. Edit. I am absolutely humbled at how much laughter my story brought to everyone today. I never imagined this would blow up like it did. Thank you guys for the silver and gold too. Ex-girlfriend bit the absolute tea out of my lip like scary hard. He kept insisting that I tell him a story. If I stopped talking to actually try to enjoy the SX, he would stop and say it again. Eventually I just zoned out of the ducking and made some shitty up. And then he complained that I didn't seem into it and asked me if I came. He's attempting to rub my clit. And instead is giving my lower left labia a Swedish massage. I don't expect every partner to have an innate sense of my anatomy. So I grab his hand to reposition. P. Up. Refuses. And goes back to the same spot. So I move his hand again. P. Goes straight back to labia flicking. And says don't interrupt me. I know what I'm doing. Just relax baby. So condescending tones and having my labia massaged while my clit cries from abandonment is probably my #1 mood killer. Edit. The amount of people who have also been in a similar spot is astounding. I'm sorry to you all. But also these stories of fumbling failures of fornication are making me laugh my ass off, so thank you. Sir. Pleasuring a partner is a skill that you should not be ashamed to ask for help on. If your partner shames you for making a mistake instead of guiding you or talking, that's not okay. Bit my clit. Enough to draw blood. I like it rough but not that ducking rough. Many years ago, I was having crazy high school sex with my crazy high school girlfriend on my parents' sofa during an extended lunch break. As I was approaching climax, she yells out, "Come on my tits." Full stop. Not one to disappoint, actual lie. I pulled out and she reached down to quickly pull off the condom. She grabbed said condom by the tip and yanked hard and fast, thinking the lube would allow a quick slip and slide off of me. Nope. The condom held strong and she began stretching it to about a half mile in length. Due to some naturally occurring lubrication on that mighty Trojan, the tip slipped from betwixt her fingers and it snapped back to the head of my unmighty member. The only noise louder than the sonic boom created by its return speed was the wailing cry I let out that left the neighborhood dogs howling for hours. I did not return to school that day as I was ruined. Edit. X was super into Disney movies. Wanted to roleplay some Disney movie like Hercules or Aladdin. First thrust in, I let out a spot on Goofy laugh. My side of the bed was cold for the rest of the night. Still tried to play off it the morning, keeping the Goofy movie impression. Made her some eggs trying to imitate that diner lady. Eggs. 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 Here you go, sweetie. It was the first Disney movie we watched together. Had an ex queef one time during sex. She looked me right in the eyes and said in a Azul tone, "She's talking to you." Once had a dude flick my clit so hard I rolled over in pain. It was sore and swollen for a couple of days. Now, I don't mind a good clit flick, but having it assaulted like a bug on your shoulder you're panicking to remove ain't cool. In the middle of doing the do, she started crying and said, "I have to learn to enjoy this or no one will ever love me." Another hookup, we were going at it and she looks me in the eye and asks if I was almost done yet. She was getting bored. I told my ex that I liked it when guys made noise during sex. It feels weird when he's completely silent. So he made noise for me. It was high pitched and quick moans. Turns out, he only ever watched lesbian PRN, so he made the noises he'd heard. I never asked him to make noise again and in fact, encouraged silence. Put the condom on for me and pinched the reservoir tip like you're supposed to. Then thought it'd be cute to snap it back like a rubber band. I went to this girl's house when I was around 19 and we started having fun on the living room couch and suddenly I heard banging. Turns out she locked her little brother in the bathroom so she and I could bang. He was crying and yelling in Korean. Completely killed the mood. Edit. Thank you for the silver random person. My ex tried his best to dirty talk but was god awful at it. Once said, "You like when I rub your dirty vagina?" Not sure how he thought that would sound SI or appealing at all. Edit. I'm ducking sobbing, this is THR story that gets me gold mayo. Wasn't her fault but killed the mood nonetheless. I was getting a blowjob and her nose ring got caught in my zipper. So she stuck with my cock in her mouth trying to get loose. Say, "My nose ring is caught on your zipper. Now say it with a DCK in your mouth." I couldn't stop laughing. She started laughing. It took forever to get her free. She's an amazing girl and I hope her all the happiness in the world. Edit. Typos. I also forgot to mention. That was our first weekend together. The first night we met. Ex kept saying, "What you doing?" in a baby voice whenever I went down on him. This one was my fault but I couldn't resist. She had told me about a sex dream she had where I was touching and she was saying yes. Give me those ice cream fingers. I want your ice cream fingers. We both had a good laugh and then forgot about it and moved on with our lives. Several days later we were getting frisky and I started touching her clit and she said something like, "Oh yes. Don't stop." So I leaned down close to her ear. "All as I like." And huskily whispered, "You like those ice cream fingers?" She burst out laughing and the mood was completely ruined. But it was so worth it. Tore my frenulum from top to bottom. Bled like hell. But she sat with me in the ER for 4 hours. Frenulum. Dart. Scream my dad's name. Don't duck your mum then. My gal moving from BJ to riding on top. She has kneed me in the balls enough times I think it's a kink. As a joke. I said, "What are you doing in my swamp?" With the Shrek accent and all when he entered me. I'm not even ashamed.